Yeah, so I'm calm. I'm calmer now. I'm calmer now. But go spend your $25 million making this museum, people. Okay, that was your special edition of Story Pipe. It's Joel. It's Wednesday. We got hunger strike news. Here we go. Who ate beef and rice and cola with bread he brought from the hospital? Saddam Hussein, who ended his hunger strike recently by having lunch at court, where he's on trial for crimes against humanity. I'm thinking to myself, if he was on a hunger strike, you know, who eats his food when he chooses not to? Like, do they just throw it out? I mean, that's kind of a waste of food, isn't it? I mean, he was the former ruler of a country. I imagine he got something kind of decent to eat, right? Did they give it to the poor, or did the guards just like, oh, God, give me that cornbread? The former leader reportedly began the hunger strike on July 7th in protest at the killing of 3 of his lawyers. That's probably a good reason to start a hunger strike. The people defending you keep getting knocked off. That's enough to get anyone kind of miffed. And now that he's fattening up again, he says he prefers execution by bullet rather than by hanging because he is a military man. How's his trial going? Who cares? Does anyone believe his trial's fair? It's dragged on since October and in its final stages, although Saddam's latest attorneys are boycotting the proceedings. In response to this boycott, the judge said, quote, "Your lawyers chose not to come despite the fact that they have billions of dollars and sit in a neighboring country where they incite violence," speaking of Jordan. Okay, unquote. I don't quite understand that. So they boycott the proceedings and the judge says your lawyers choose not to come despite the fact they have billions of dollars and sit in a neighboring country. Like, how does that have anything to do with them wanting to boycott the proceedings? I don't understand how those two are related. Oh, they're millionaires. They're billionaires. They're billionaires. Why are they boycotting? It's probably not about economics, right? So Randy Rhoads the other day, who was on Air America, was going off about calling the whole Iraq war a genocide, right? And someone who's liberal called up and told her it's not genocide, right? And then she ripped into him. She says, let me look up genocide in the dictionary, and said genocide is, you know, the systematic destruction of a government, a culture, or a people, right? And how can you tell me that's not genocide? And so these, whether it's right wing or left wing, and I'm definitely more of a left wing guy. They all go Looney Tunes and just, you know, they get their platform and they think they're right. Well, this is my platform where I get to be right all the time, right? So Randy Rhoads is wrong. It's not a genocide, okay? I'm not necessarily in favor of the war. I was never in favor of the war when we started it. But we went in there to displace the government. We are not exterminating the people. There's no extermination. There's no, like, if you belong to a political party or you are in the government or you are a particular cultural people, then we exterminate you. That's what a genocide is, and that's not what we're doing there. So let's just you know, calm down and get our facts straight before we do all this stupid name calling, Randy Rhoads. And I actually like a lot of things you say. But if we were exterminating people, Saddam Hussein would be dead. Okay, I'm done. We can talk about this thing. You can use this one. Are you recording? Start. Okay, because you can use this anywhere you want, okay? Now, I printed this off the internet. I don't understand why. I printed it off the internet. I highlighted the section I want to print, and what it did is it put a massive margin on the left side and then cut off the words that I highlighted. I don't know why it did that, so I can't really read all of this, but in Kentucky, Petersburg, Kentucky, they are building a museum for creationism. It is a museum where you get to see, like, mechanical dinosaurs and Adam and Eve standing next to each other. You see video and all this stuff. We're going to show you that we can make sense of the different people groups, make sense of fossils. We can make sense of what you see in the world. This it's education, but it's also doing it in an entertaining way. Now, the scientists look at a museum dedicated to creationism as the way the world is created and say Genesis is not science, meaning the book of Genesis. But what I love is that the man, John Morris, president of the Institute for Creation Research in San Diego, says Americans, because he's in favor of creationism, he says Americans just aren't gullible enough to believe that they came from a fish. But they are gullible enough to believe that they exploded into existence 2,000 years ago. you can't say that we're gullible by believing in evolution, whether you're religious or not. You can't say we're gullible for thinking evolution, like the theory behind it kind of makes some sense, and claim we're not gullible for believing that some book that was handed down by a higher power that none of us have ever seen or talked to tells how it began. You know, I can get the hate mail now from all the religious zealots, but how can you be gullible for believing a scientific theory? That's it. And would you stop acting like science is your enemy, as if, you know, there's this fortress underground somewhere in the middle of the desert where the scientists have like a chip embedded in their arm that they enter, and then they have a meeting about how can we destroy religion. They're not doing that. They're just like getting information and trying to make sense of it all. They don't think a whit about how it might insult someone who doesn't believe reality. And we have a long history of religion being wrong and then science just continuing to truck forward, like, oh, you know, the earth is flat, right? Oh, no, it's round. Remember that? Better readjust our perceptions. And the earth is the center of the universe because God made us the center of everything. Oh, it's not. Well, we better just readjust our perceptions again so that we can continue to be religious while absorbing the science that just got proved incontrovertible. So you can use that one wherever you want. Okay.
We have a special edition on our hands.
I just read that. I was like, grrr. You know, I mean, gullible enough to think we're from fish.